Good morning to everyone. I am Dr. Suraj Utmani. I am a resident in general medicine from the College of MS Ramaya, and today we will be learning about the normal plantar response and the pathological variation which is known as Babinski sign. So first of all, what is the Babinski sign and the normal plantar response? The normal plantar response is a superficial reflex, and these are polysynaptic reflexes. They usually are long in latency and they're slow to respond. So now the components of the normal plantar response, which is the root value of S1. So first the normal plantar response. So it consists of flexion of the great toe, flexion of the other toes, and plantar flexion of the ankle, along with flexion of the leg at the knee joint, flexion of the thigh at the hip joint, and there's a tensor fascia lata. That contraction is also constitutes the normal Babinski response. So now what are the prerequisites for doing the normal Babinski, the plantar response? So first the patient should be ideally in supine position and the knee should be extended. Along with that, the heel should touch the bed. Along with this, you have to explain to the patient the procedure that you are going to do. Now what are the instruments which we will use to elicit this response? So firstly, there is a applicator which we can use, then the blunt key and the reflex knee hammer which can be used to demonstrate this reflex. Then, so now the method of eliciting. So first, keep the patient in position, the knee extended, the heel touching the bed, and now the strength of the stimulus. The strength, it is variable. It should be strong enough to cause it should be strong enough but not strong enough to cause a grasp reflex, and it should not be light enough so that we miss the Babinski sign. So we start at the heel of the foot, gently and not very briskly. Usually when we reach the mid of the foot, we can see the reflex. As we can see here, there will be extension of the toe followed by fanning of the other toes. And there will be also dorsiflexion of the ankle. This is the Babinski sign. And you should also always look at the other aspects, not only focus on the toe. You should look at the flexion of the leg at the knee joint, the flexion of the hip at the hip joint, and the contraction of the tensor fascia lata. Now coming to something known as equivocal Babinski. So what is equivocal Babinski? So you have done the technique correctly, but still you're not getting a response. So in that situation, there will be only extension of the great toe followed by rapid flexion of the other toes, or only extension of the great toe. And or when you have applied any stimulus and you're not getting any response, that is also equivocal Babinski. Or one more, another thing is there will be contraction of there will be flexion of the hip and the knee, but no movement of the toes. This is equivocal Babinski. Now we move on to something known as minimal Babinski sign. So we should focus on the tensor fascia lata, because a minimal Babinski is constituted by contraction of the tensor fascia lata and no movement of the toes. So focus on the tensor fascia lata while applying the stimulus, and we can see there is a contraction of the tensor fascia lata. Now coming to the fallbacks of the Babinski sign. So usually when there is when the patient is in a spinal shock or cerebral shock, in those situations we will not be able to elicit this Babinski sign. We will get an equivocal Babinski. The other thing is, if the patient has a peripheral neuropathy, a superseding peripheral neuropathy, or there is the extensor hallucis which is responsible for the extension of the great toe, if there is an element lesion involving this, still we will not get the Babinski sign.